Join me as I dive into the world of fantasy football and challenge myself to build a winning team from scratch, all while explaining the basics for beginners. Fantasy football is an awesome way to take your NFL fandom to the next level. It's like being a real NFL coach, but instead of yelling at referees, you're competing against your friends or other fans to see who knows the most about football. You get to pick your favorite players, create a team, and then watch as they rack up points based on their real-life performances. One of the biggest hurdles beginners face is understanding the scoring system. It's not as complicated as it seems, but it can be overwhelming at first. You see, each league has its own unique scoring system, but most of them reward players for things like touchdowns, yards gained, and catches made. Some leagues even give bonus points for milestones like 300-yard passing games or 100-yard rushing games. Some people also struggle with managing their roster throughout the season. You see, injuries happen and players have off weeks. You've got to stay on top of it and make adjustments as needed. That might mean picking up a new player off the waiver wire or making a trade with another team. So, let's break down the key elements of fantasy football. First, there's the draft. This is where you pick your players, and it's usually a lot of fun. You can either do a snake draft, where teams take turns picking players in a specific order, or an auction draft, where teams bid on players. Either way, the goal is to build a well-rounded team with a good mix of skill positions. Research is also crucial. You want to know which players are trending up and which ones are trending down. You want to know who's got a good matchup and who's got a tough one. That way, you can make informed decisions about who to start and who to sit. Also, managing your roster is important. You've got to keep an eye on injuries and make sure you're not starting a player who's going to be out. You've also got to make adjustments based on the matchups. If your star player is going up against a tough defense, you might want to consider benching them. One powerful insight that can really help beginners is to focus on player matchups. If your player is going up against a weak defense, they're more likely to have a big game. On the other hand, if they're going up against a tough defense, they might struggle. So it's worth taking the time to research the matchups and make informed decisions. Another tip is to pay attention to the waiver wire. You never know when a player is going to break out, and being one of the first to pick them up can give you a big advantage. Also, don't be afraid to make trades. If you've got a player who's not producing and you've got a hole in your lineup, it might be worth trading for someone who's on a hot streak. Lastly, focusing on consistent players rather than those with one big game can help maintain a strong roster throughout the season. Consistency is key in fantasy football. To recap, we've covered some essential tips to get you started with fantasy football. Remember, it's all about having fun and being competitive. Don't be intimidated if you're new to it. With a little practice, you'll be a pro in no time. If you've got questions or need more tips, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to help. And if you're interested in more fantasy football content, be sure to check out my other videos for more advice and insights. Thanks for watching.